I'm going to show you a technique that will help you when you have problems in a conversation and you can't understand what the person is saying. Let's take a look. So, this technique is called REC, R-E-C. This stands for repetition, explanation, confirmation. So, by using these three tools, you can help to negotiate the comprehension of what you're saying. So I will explain to you each of these three steps and give you some example phrases so that you can negotiate the comprehension with someone during a conversation. So the first one is pretty obvious, repetition. This is basically just you asking them to repeat what they're saying. Here are some of the main phrases in this category, which you know very well. Pardon me, excuse me, and then you can specify. Could you run that by me again? That's a more informal version. Or could you repeat that, please? This is the first moment when I really don't know what you said. It sounded like blah, 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 blah. So you just ask the person to repeat. Pretty obvious. Let's go to the second one, which is explanation. So when you are really not sure what the person is saying, so they've repeated what they've said, blah, 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 and you're just not getting the idea, you want to ask for an explanation, where you really want them to break the idea into different components, perhaps, where you want them to break something down into smaller pieces, or you want them to go through something in smaller chunks. Maybe you want to get some examples, right? And for that reason, it's better than just asking to repeat again, because you know if I ask you to repeat again, it's not going to do anything. I need different words. So here are some phrases you can use. So the best way to do this is start by saying the person's name, just as a way to be more personable. Justin, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. That's a specific and important phrase. Justin, I didn't catch that. Could you explain that last part? You can be specific if you would like here. That will help you a lot because it indicates where the problem is. Justin, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you explain that last part? Could you please explain that part about the new regulation, for example? You can always be more informal and just say, I'm not sure I got what you're saying. And then here are the phrases that are very important to give them the impression or to communicate that you need them to use different words. That's the secret, is you want them to use different words. You want them to use a different way of communicating. So you then ask, would you mind explaining it in a different way? That's the most direct. If you want something more colloquial and natural, you can ask, could you break that down for me? Right? Break that down means to separate its pieces, right? And then a really good one here is, could you give me an example? Okay, so these are ways that you can get an explanation. So we had repetition, explanation, and the third is confirmation. This is when you almost got what they said, so you almost understand, but there's one part that you're not sure about. So let me give you an example. So in the confirmation technique, you are confirming what you do understand. So sometimes you hear a sentence. Imagine you have a sentence here. Here are the words, okay? I went to the store, blah, 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 blah. What you can do is you don't ask them to repeat. You don't ask them to explain. Why? Because you already have 90% of the message. You're good. So don't ask them to repeat everything. Instead, you will repeat the sentence. I went to the store. What did you say there? And you let them finish your sentence, right? Maybe you know that it was like a when question, right? I went to the store when, or you went to the store when. You can then confirm what you do understand. This is so powerful. If you have to choose one technique of the three, this is the most powerful because it helps you to construct the comprehension together with your partner, with the person that you're talking with. So those are the three ways that you can clarify what someone is saying. You request, you ask for them to clarify what they are saying. So again, reviewing the three. If you didn't understand anything, you can ask for a repetition. Very easy. Pardon me? Excuse me? Could you run that by me again? Or could you repeat that, please, in a more formal context? Okay? If you don't understand what the person is saying, then we go for an explanation. Say their name to get their attention. Let them know that you are not on the same page, right? I didn't catch that. Could you explain that, please? Or would you mind explaining that in a different way? You could also ask these questions. Could you break that down for me? Could you give me an example? But it's important that you indicate to them that you are not understanding what they're saying and that you would like them to explain it in a different way, right? And it's important to say their name and let them know, I didn't catch that, or I want to make sure I'm capturing what you're saying. The last component is the confirmation. And the confirmation is pretty intuitive. And it's asking, just to confirm, you are asking if, blah, blah, blah. If I understand you correctly, you're asking if, and your goal is just to tell them what you heard. You're almost repeating to them what they said to you, but you're paraphrasing, right? Don't try to say the exact words. So I'm going to give you some exercises that will help you with these three techniques, the REC, the REC technique, which will help you when you need to clarify someone's message, to help you understand what someone is saying when you are in a meeting. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.